All right, well, good morning here. Friday, started the end of May. Somehow we got to the end of May pretty quickly, but happy y'all could join us for Max Minutes. I'm Amelia Nickerson. I'm a Max board member, so I'll be doing kind of our introductions and ending Q&A today. We've got a really good group with us today to go over some really important information. So we'll first do a couple of introductions, and then we'll get started with the program. We always like to thank our anchors that help make these things happen for us each month. And so thank you to all of the folks listed. I don't have to read the names. Y'all are capable of doing that. So thanks to our anchors who are with us today. And then my job is to introduce you to Daniela Perry, who's going to be our moderator today. Daniela is with the Georgia Chamber Foundation and the Georgia Chamber of Commerce. She's also a fellow Max board member with me. So Daniela, why don't you take us away and introduce our speakers for today?
Thanks so much, Amelia. Really appreciate it. And again, appreciate everyone for joining us this morning. We've got a really great program with John Strickland and Wende Parker to talk about the Fatherhood program and really resources that we can better support Georgia families to increase our workforce and lots of good opportunities. So John Strickland is in Swainsboro, Georgia. Excited to have you with us and is over the Fatherhood program. Of course, we've got Wende Parker, who's the Parental Accountability Court Manager. So I think we're going to kick it off with John first and hear some remarks from you, and then we'll go over to Wende, and then we'll have some Q&A. So remember, you can put your questions in the chat or Q&A, and then we'll start off discussion too. So John, over to you.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. I appreciate that so very much. We're going to take 1 second to share my screen, and I'm going to pull up the PowerPoint that we have for you guys. Give me 1 second as we get this going.
Of course, yeah. Y'all are all familiar with the switcheroo we are doing with Zoom.
Okay.
Looks great, John.
All right, can you see it?
Yes.
Okay. Again, thank you for having us to represent the Georgia Fatherhood Program, the Division of Child Support Services. It is a privilege and an honor for us to be present with you guys today. My name is John Strickland. I'm a fatherhood supervisor. I would like to give a shout out to our fatherhood manager, Miss Dennis Gear, Miss Kiska Dennis Gear. She is serving our fatherhood program well as a manager, and I appreciate her allowing me to have this opportunity this morning to share the Georgia Fatherhood Program in her absence. So I give her a shout out for the fine job that she is doing and for the opportunity of being able to talk about something that is most important to me, and that is the Georgia Fatherhood Program. When we think about the Georgia Fatherhood Program is most important, and sometimes the most important thing said comes from the participants therein. So tell me if you can hear this video. In all honesty, that is the Fatherhood Program in a nutshell. It is about connecting with people. Our purpose is to make sure that we connect individuals with people who have opportunities for employment, because we are an employment-based program. We are a statewide program throughout the state of Georgia. We can say proudly, but very humbly, that we are within a 45-mile radius of every citizen in the state of Georgia. Anyone who needs the services of the Georgia Fatherhood Program can enroll. And due to the virtual environment that has been created, somewhat by demand, necessity, we can reach even beyond our boundary to serve the citizens of Georgia. We want to connect with participants with resources that leads them to career opportunities. We don't want to just place participants on jobs. We want to prepare them for a career. We want them to be involved in a program and in a purpose for life so that they can participate in a livelihood that will carry them throughout their lives. We assist non-custodial parents so that they can begin to meet their court order obligations and not experience any contempt actions with the courts. We want to make sure that our participants are self-sufficient, they are financially stable, and that they are involved in their children's lives. The Division of Child Support Services believes that children need both parents. Our services involves a variety of different things. We have skills assessments that helps our participants identify what they like, but it also helps them identify what pays good in their particular area. So whenever they think about a career, not a job, they can analyze their skills assessment and match it to the highest paying job in a particular area. We work with them with our fatherhood agents in preparing resumes. Sometimes we would refer them out to other entities and agencies that would assist them in resume writing as well, such as Goodwill. We want them to be involved in employment referrals. Our fatherhood agents are asked to have at least one employer that would hire a participant on the spot. In other words, connectivity is the key. We want our agents to be connected with employment resources so that whenever we make a referral for a participant, that employer acknowledges that referral because they have confidence in our program and confidence in our fatherhood agents throughout the state of Georgia. We want to prepare them for GED training and testing. I'll say a little bit more about that in a little while. We also guide them with short-term training resources. Many of our participants have obtained short-term training, skills, certificates, certifications that has enabled them to move forward in that career opportunity. We involve in prison paternity testing, prison reentry training and support. We work with the Department of Labor for the federal bonding program. Through our collaboration and communication with Fatherhood Incorporated, we've got emotional wellness training that we can offer our participants. And we're always, every single day of our work day, continuously coaching and holding our participants accountable in the responsibilities of life. Our fatherhood program is throughout the state of Georgia, as I've already said. In total, we have 5 fatherhood supervisors. Again, we are led by our manager, Miss Kiska Dennis-Gear. And throughout our leadership in Georgia, we are serving the Georgia fatherhood participants and the Georgia taxpayers very effectively. We've got at least 19 statewide service delivery areas. And in our program, as you see the map on your screen, we reach far and near so that we are able to assist all participants throughout the state of Georgia. We've got a fatherhood supervisor in North Georgia, Metro Atlanta, Central Georgia, Southwest Georgia, and Southeast Georgia. You notice the names. These are some of the best people in the whole world, and they are doing an extremely outstanding job leading the Georgia Fatherhood Program as we serve the citizens of Georgia. So let me give a shout out to Usher Walker, Ray Bryant, Pamela Coley, Leslie Dixon Shine. These folks are doing a tremendous job in serving our state with the Georgia Fatherhood Program. Our program timelines, we enroll an individual in our program, And then we make sure that they understand the responsibilities and requirements of the program. So they sign a terms and condition saying that they understand. They enroll into the program 3 days after orientation. And then if there are any barriers, anything that would cause a problem, we make sure that we help them overcome those barriers, even if it's a driver's license problem. We have initial accountability meetings that occur no less than 15 days after the orientation. And then 15 days after the initial accountability, we have what we call a reoccurring accountability session. So let me simplify it by saying this. Every 15 days, our participants are engaging with our fatherhood agents so that everyone is able to communicate and we can provide a very profitable process of enrollment and completion for our participant. The Georgia Fatherhood Program has many accomplishments. Let me just tell you a little bit as you note this on the screen. This is from Federal Fiscal Year 2020. We have over 11,000 Georgians who have received services as a result of the Georgia Fatherhood Program. Over 1,600 participants have been referred to the GED program and the short-term training programs. Over 2,000 participants have secured employment as a result of the Georgia Fatherhood Program. And here is the great accomplishment of all. Over 13,000 children have financial stability because of the Georgia Fatherhood Program. And I would hasten to say that out of those 13 plus children, many of them have been connected with a non-custodial parent so that both parents are involved in that child's life. We have community partners. Our fatherhood agents are required to connect and communicate with the community. We don't want to just receive a paycheck. We want to be a part. We want to participate in the community so that the community knows that we're here to serve our customers, the citizens of Georgia, but we're also here to serve those in the community who are hiring our participants. We reach out to those employers. We've got opportunity to refer a non-custodial parent to access and visitation. We've got partnership with the Department of Labor, the Department of Veteran Affairs, the Georgia Department of Corrections, the technical colleges throughout the state of Georgia, Goodwill Career Centers, and community employers. And Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated is another big partner of ours. They have helped us orchestrate, organize, and serve our participants with what we call the fatherhood conversations. And you see that somewhat on our screen. In our fatherhood celebrations, we have fatherhood celebrations where we go into a particular area and we serve that area. And we have a day for the family, a day of fun, a day of festivity where we are presenting resources, opportunities, we are communicating with the community, and we are engaging with the community. At those fatherhood celebrations, we have employers who have on-the-job hiring opportunities for our participants. And we also have the fatherhood conversations throughout the state of Georgia where we communicate. We have a virtual environment. We have a face-to-face environment where folks ask us questions about the Georgia Fatherhood Program, and we answer those questions. We also have outreach events. Many times the Georgia Fatherhood Program is offered an opportunity to participate in an outreach event within a community. And our fatherhood agent will go there, set up a booth, and we will represent the Division of Child Support Services and the Fatherhood Program, telling folks about our wonderful program and offering them an opportunity to participate therein. Our fatherhood expansion continues to be a fast-paced excited thing within our fatherhood program. We've got partners with the Technical College of Georgia, as I've already stated. We're going to be putting 22 fatherhood agents in technical college campuses throughout the state of Georgia. And we've got 3 technical college supervisors that's going to be added through 2022. So the Georgia Fatherhood Program began its expansion under the leadership of our commissioner, Ms. Robin A. Crittenton. She helped us with our first phase. She helped us with our second phase that we are now in. And the good news is she is going to help us with our third phase that's going to go all the way through 2022. So the Georgia Fatherhood Program is expanding so that we can offer services for individuals throughout the state of Georgia and making a difference in their life. We're going to have 4 community resource specialists in North Georgia, Metro Georgia, Southeast, Southwest Georgia. We already have 2 in Southeast and Southwest, 1 in each of those areas. And these community resource specialists are going to be working with us to identify employers, businesses that will hire our participants throughout the state of Georgia. They're also going to be helping us identify community resources so that we can attach our participants with resources that they need. We also have a business support analyst, and our business support analyst helps us identify the data attached to our program. Everybody wants to see data, and our business support analyst is helping us track our data so that we can report out to our commissioner and to the leaders in our community that we are honestly making a difference in the work that we are doing throughout the state of Georgia. That's the reason that we very eagerly and excitedly shared with you the statistics that we shared a few minutes ago on a previous slide. Participants' benefits is we get to prepare them for the workforce. We help them with basic academic skills if they need GED or skills training. We help them with critical thinking skills, and we do that through our partnership with Fatherhood Incorporated. We help them with self-management skills. Sometimes individuals just need to talk. And the good thing about the Georgia Fatherhood Program is they always have someone to talk to. Either they can talk to a fatherhood agent, or we can refer them to a competent individual in the community who could help counsel them with self-management needs. We help them work with others within the community and throughout the community. We want to make sure that everything that we offer them is useful information. Not only do we give our participants useful information, but they have given us useful information that has helped us better serve the citizens of Georgia. We want everyone to understand the systems. The fatherhood program is joined at the hip through the Division of Child Support Services. And what we do is try to explain the program, the fatherhood program, but we also try to explain for our participants the purpose and the works of the Division of Child Support Services and other systems throughout the state of Georgia. The Georgia Fatherhood Program impacts rural Georgia. 44% of the total DCS caseload is in rural Georgia. Out of that 44%, 46% of the cases in rural Georgia are categorized as opportunity cases, which simply means that in rural Georgia, there are individuals who need our services drastically, whereby which we are there to serve them in rural Georgia. Sometimes you are served when you work in a big city, and sometimes when you are in a small town, you are forgotten. But we tell the participants in the Fatherhood program, you can live in Swainsboro, Georgia, and you can still be effectively served with the Georgia Fatherhood program. Our Fatherhood program is expanding, and we make sure that we make connections with educational employment individuals for opportunities that really makes a difference in our communities as well as in our customers' lives. We have success stories, and I want to share one of those with you at this time.
I just want to talk about the Fatherhood program and what it has done for me. I mean, it has severely changed my life for the better. When I came in here, I was in shambles and was on the verge of losing my license, and they helped me in ways that no one else has ever helped me before. I mean, they helped me get funding for school for truck driving, and they also helped me save my license as well. And also, I was able to get my record expunged to where my criminal record was hurting me, and I wasn't able to get good employment. I mean, I was always at the bottom of the barrel for every job pool. So the Fatherhood program has just been great. I wish more people knew about this because it has changed my life. Now I'm a CDL Class A holder, and I mean, it has opened up so many doors for me. I mean, other people I'm interviewing companies aren't interviewing me.
That is the Georgia Fatherhood program. When you can get an individual to a point where they have confidence to say they are interviewing employers, and employers are not just interviewing them. That's what we do in the Georgia Fatherhood program. We provide individuals with confidence so that they can accomplish the desires they have within their life. Again, my name is John Strickland. I'm a fatherhood supervisor with the Georgia Fatherhood program, and I am honored and privileged to be able to speak to you today about a program that I not only am employed through, but a program that I have confidence in. Thank you so very much for this privilege.
Thanks so much, John. That was amazing. And I think to your point, the confidence that your program participants leave with is incredibly empowering. And I think, it is such a gift that we're able to provide to really enable folks to make good decisions and start new phases. So we'll go to Wende next, and then we can move on to questions then, but I'll give Wende a second to get PowerPoint up. And to John, just wanted to thank you for mentioning too the impact to rural Georgia. As the statewide Chamber of Commerce, it's something that's important for us to always see opportunity available to people across the state. I know this is Metro Atlanta focused, but I'm really excited to see that as well. And that looks great, Wende. I think you may be on mute still. Yep. Okay.
Good morning. Thank you so much. So good to be here. Thanks, everybody. My name's Wende Parker. I do manage our Parental Accountability Corps program, and it's always wonderful to present with our partners Fatherhood, because within the Department of Human Services, within the Division of Child Support, we have a pretty large outreach initiative going on right now. Been going on for years, but working together with all of our different departments is always exciting, and always even more exciting to share the work that we're doing. So we are really kind of going to focus on what happens if someone does not, I guess I should say successfully complete, John can help me with that language, but successfully complete fatherhood maybe. When we have customers that for some reason, after all of our best efforts, just still are finding themselves at risk of incarceration or contempt of non-payment of child support, we still have opportunities to help them. And so that is where back in 2009, Judge John Simpson in our Coweta Judicial Circuit, he recognized a court program in North Carolina and did some research. We've even got some white paper research that we've published. And he really felt like the child support court that they were doing in North Carolina held some really good values. So he did a pilot program. We had a couple of judicial circuits involved with that. And we got a good return on investment when we would take individuals, our customers, that were facing risk of incarceration for non-payment. And so when they got to that point, instead of incarcerating them, we wanted to figure out a way to help them get back on their feet, very much what John has shared with us today. But instead of sending them to jail, we partner with our superior court judges and put them in what we call an accountability court. We hired coordinators, DHS hired staff to run these courts in partnership with our judges. And so with that, we are excited to share that, you know, back in 2009 with our pilot, it worked. And so there was legislative approval to expand the courts. And today we have 43 courts in the state of Georgia. We have and 42 judicial circuits on board so far. You know, our goal is stronger families for a stronger Georgia. And when we are always striving to meet that, our outreach programs are the center of that objective. So when we look at what we're trying to do from an overarching concept with improving self-sufficiency and well-being, that's what these two programs are doing. And so as we move into looking at what the PAC program does, Parental Accountability Court, we affectionately call it PAC. As you can see on the screen, it's a joint effort. We work hand in hand with our judges. Our judges that are overseeing these parental accountability courts, they are volunteering to do this. There's many different accountability courts in the state of Georgia, as many of you guys probably know. We have drug courts, mental health courts, veterans court. And even for our program with PAC, we've been able to partner with the other accountability courts and determine if someone had a child support case in drug court or mental health court, we've been able to work together where they actually become dually enrolled in two different courts. So they're seeing accountability from every angle, as you can imagine. But when we look at the judicial oversight piece of this program, we address the barriers that are keeping them from meeting their obligations, but they do it from a judicial perspective. So when we look at it that way, this program specifically is trying to focus on not only, you know, self-sufficiency, but we want to figure out why can they not keep their child support obligations? Why can they not make that happen? And so with the Superior Court judges on board, even that 5 minutes, like every month, they'll have court. But even in those 5 minutes with the judge really has one-on-one time with them. It just does something. It's a profound meeting where the judge praises them for the efforts that they have made. The judge gives them suggestions for improvement. The judge may very well have connections in the community to offer them an opportunity for employment that perhaps the coordinator and the judge had not been able to talk about yet. So right there in court, you know, the judge might have seen, you know, a flyer for employment, or he has a friend in the community where they're able to talk and get some additional resources for these individuals. So it is an exciting partnership for us, but most importantly, it gives the customers an alternative to incarceration. And that is our number one selling point, if you will, because first of all, when we've got an individual that's in contempt for, you know, for non-payment, and we look at for the PAC program, we consider a chronic non-payer, you know, 6 months or more, where they've really been struggling. And as y'all mentioned before, they may have, their driver's license may have been suspended. And so they seek out those opportunities on how they can get their driver's license back, of course, because we all need that. And so by the time they get to us, they are really struggling and they need some help. And that is exactly what this program does. So our coordinator will meet with them. They can consent into our program and we will start working with them immediately. Some of the accomplishments with the PAC program, as John was talking about, you know, we do love numbers and we love data, but the one thing that matters to us here, yes, we've brought in over $15 million of support since 2009. Yes, we've serviced over 5,000 participants, but what really matters to us is the day-to-day work that we're doing with these individuals. You know, and John even talked about this too, you know, the referrals with our technical college system of Georgia, you know, with our GEDs, we've got a majority of our individuals that never graduated high school. Well, that's goal number one. When we do short-term goal setting with them, and even, you know, on the long-term goal spectrum, but getting their GED or solving their educational barriers, that's going to have to be key. And we spend a lot of time on that. And so, but then some of them, you know, with the video that John showed earlier, you know, I love watching that because it's a reminder. A lot of the individuals coming into the program have a criminal background that really is impeding their ability to move forward in life. And so having the partnerships that we have in the community where they can look at expungement or look at what their options are, it's really important because a lot of them don't know how to navigate the system. And I think that's what Fatherhood and PAC do so brilliantly, is that we work together with our customers to help them navigate, because they're stressed out. They've got a lot of stress. They're trying to find a job. They don't have a job. They don't have the money. And now, you know, we've suspended their license because they haven't paid their child support. So they have obligations and they don't know how to figure it out. And that's really what our teams are trying to do with our customers. Now, I wanted to keep this slide up here for a minute just to show the most important thing here is giving support back to the families, the children. That is what this is all about. We want to build stronger families. And our only way that we can do that is to help provide a demonstration of effort on our customers' behalf. And so we're helping them try to communicate back to their family that, you know what, I'm trying to get my life back together. I'm trying to get whatever I don't have fixed so that I can help support you. And that truly is our goal, to help them get to that point where they can stand up one day and say, this is what I've accomplished. And we see that all the time in our graduation events, which I'll talk about. This is just a visual of the judicial circuits in Georgia. We do have another judicial circuit that will be added, but for purposes of today, generally speaking, this is where we are. We have 7 judicial circuits that we still want to acquire with Parental Accountability Court. And that just takes a little bit of time, especially with the closure of so many of our courts. As y'all know, over the past 12 months, it definitely delayed a little bit of that work, but we are ongoing, you know, in conversations with our judges, and they're very, very, very supportive of all of the accountability work. You know, that started back with Governor Deal's criminal justice reform with accountability courts. And, you know, Governor Kemp has supported that as well. So we've been very fortunate to have top leadership, you know, support in regards to accountability courts statewide. And we're proud to be a part of that through the Administrative Office of the Courts. And then I also wanted to mention here that we have 2 judges that sit on the Parental Accountability Court Subcommittee and through the Council of Accountability Court Judges. And that's Judge Ann Harris in Cobb County and Judge John Worcester in Appalachian, which is up in the city of LJ, and they have several coverage areas. So those 2 judges kind of oversee what's going on with PAC, and they're there for support. We've had several new judges come on board over the past year and a half. And so Judge Harris and Judge Worcester will also provide support to them as well as needed. So I wanted to make sure y'all knew that. And then our services that we offer to our clients, they are no different than Fatherhood. We really do work together. You know, it's very exciting about the Fatherhood expansion program, because I know that those community resource specialists, that once the expansion is full, you know, that we're going to be able to lean on them as well when we're struggling to find some resources too, because, you know, as we've mentioned, in our rural areas, sometimes those resources are a lot more scarce, and judges have concerns about that too. You know, what are we going to do? And so we have to be very creative. You know, one of our primary problems is some transportation issues, and even sometimes in our metro area too. But, you know, even like I'll look at Macon, you know, we've got 3 counties in the Macon Judicial Circuit. And one of those counties may very well, Crawford County specifically, you know, we don't have a lot of resources that we can use in Crawford County. So they've got to travel outside of that county of residence to get what they need to really build, if you will, their repository of success. So those are things that we've got to work on. We've got to figure out a solution to the transportation barriers that we have. And then we also have individuals that don't have a home. We've got to work on the homelessness and being able to find shelter for individuals so that they can have a place to lay their head at night and not have that as an additional stressor in their life when we're trying to get them working. Well, you know what, at night they've got to have somewhere to lay down. And so we've got to work on some of these things that we haven't perfected yet in the state. But I know that there are a lot of partners that is top of their list, and they're working hard on that. And we're happy to be a part of it. One of the things I wanted to reference as well is when we talk about the barriers that our participants are dealing with, we have a great number that have substance abuse issues, and we have some mental health deficits that we uncover. We are not trained to do that, but what we do is we work with the Department of Behavioral Health and Developmental Disabilities at the state to partner with our community service boards, and we will get them initial evaluations so that the professional teams can determine, you know what, based on our original intake, we've got some substance abuse issues that have been identified, or we've identified and uncovered some inadequacies with mental health stability. So those things, when those are identified at the professional partnership level, we will refer them out for services, and we'll also try to capture funding if at all possible to help with that, or they'll work with us on a sliding scale with our customers, which is great. So I wanted to make sure y'all, I'm sure that you guys know that those are barriers that we work with besides education, but I like to mention it because we continually need to have partners in those areas that can service customers at no cost or low cost, where we can help them on, you know, sliding scales or whatever, because again, we're trying to get them on their feet. We don't want them to go to jail for non-payment. We want to work with them, but then if they've got to have help for substance abuse and mental health, they can't afford that yet. So it's a revolving door, and we are continually trying to find resources for them. I wanted to recognize that we did receive an award in 2018 through the National Child Support Enforcement Association. And, you know, we got the Innovative Partnership and Collaboration Award. We were recognized because of the partnership with the Superior Court judges. And I'm really proud of that work that started way before I even got here with the division. These are excellent partnerships, and our judges have been phenomenal with the support of the work that we are all trying to do with those that are in contempt of their child support. So I'm very excited to be a part of that. When we can collaborate with courts and, you know, whether it's child support specifically, you know, issues within our Department of Family and Children Services, that partnership with the courts is pivotal in those customers' lives. And we are definitely a true testament to that. And I'm very proud of the program. The benefits that the participant has with the judge, some of the things that we've seen over time are that reduction of recidivism. We've seen people, we track it, you know, when they leave PAC or when they graduate, we track their payments 12 months before they were in PAC, while they were in the program, and then 12 months after. And our percentage of increase is phenomenal. And even individuals that do not come into the PAC program, they still demonstrated an increase of child support payments just from meeting with the coordinator. They may have decided not to come into the program for whatever reason, but they still started paying more on their program because we talked with them about the importance of that child. So again, we know that even just talking with them and introducing conversation about the need to support their family, we know that it gets them thinking and they start making those payments, and we have the data to prove that, which is very exciting. And then lastly, I just always like to talk about our graduation. And, you know, I wish I had a great video to show you like John did, but his videos pretty much speak to our success as outreach as a whole. You know, we see that they are more informed. They are a better member of their community. You know, knowledge is power. And that's all that we're trying to do with these customers, is to get their knowledge to another level so that they can feel self-sufficient and not be so stressed and feel successful. And their children see that too. When we can provide wraparound services and our children can see that their father or their mother that don't have custody of them, that they're trying to better themselves, y'all can't tell me that that's not going to influence that child in 12 years when they're in high school about to graduate, hopefully. Our graduation rates in Georgia are on the rise. We are all doing something right, but we've got to keep the path, keep the faith on this program, all of these programs, so that we can continue to work together and be successful. So very excited about the work that we're doing here, and even more excited about these partnerships with you guys that continue to come to our door, where we're able to work together with many different civic organizations. So I'm happy to take questions. I know John is, he's very good at that. And you know, if y'all have someone that you know that struggles with child support and they don't understand the navigation of the system, we've got outreach, you know, partners. We can connect them wherever we need to go, and we'll make sure that they have, you know, our call center line, whatever y'all need today, we can put that in the chat. So thank you so much. It's always good to be here.
Well, thank you so much, Wende. I think, you know, what you and John shared both is just so many good opportunities to get folks that have had, you know, substantial challenges back into the workforce and feel confident and empower them to create strong families. And we've got a couple questions in the chat that I want to start with, and then we can move to some other questions, and maybe that'll get some of the brains flowing on an early Friday morning. So Mia asked, how can participants connect to the Parental Accountability Court, and are fathers with active warrants eligible to sign up? So I think, Wende, that may be best for you.
Yeah, that's a great question. So one of the first things that they can do, and I'll put this in the chat, is they can contact our customer call center, our contact center. And but the best thing to do is to go to their local office. I'm sure John would agree, for either of our programs, going and making connection with your local child support office is always your first step. If they're computer savvy and they have internet access, they can go to the Division of Child Support Services website. We're very proud of our website, very proud of our mobile applications and all of our self-service options that we created over the last 3 years that really make it like a one-stop shop for everybody. But I also wanted to address the active warrant. Absolutely. Depending on what the warrant is for, you know, I'll say that. But if they have an active warrant, they should not let that keep them from reaching out to us. Again, I'm sure John would agree, and he may have some commentary on that, but they still need to go to their local office, because that is a safe place for them, because we're going to find them the support that they need no matter what's going on in their life. We even have individuals that get picked up on a warrant. It does, you know, it could be for anything. And we'll get notified if they have a contempt action on their case. And our coordinator actually will meet them in jail. And we can get them to consent in, and the attorney will help with that. And we can bring them into PAC that same day. So we have a lot of options to help people with active warrants and other issues that are similar to that.
Wow, that's fantastic. I think that we've got another question about, is there a cost for any of these services for your program, and then John for the Fatherhood program as well?
There's no, this is what we do. Yep. The only cost is that they've got to put some effort in. They gotta get their hands dirty, right?
Yep, sweat equity.
Yep.
Yeah, there is no cost. The only thing that we would say in reference to a cost is this: it might cost you your time and your energy, but if you're willing to pay that, you will be most successful in our programs.
Great. And then too, Janice also asked, are y'all's offices open? I know with COVID protocols, everyone's doing something different. What are y'all doing as far as getting access into an office?
Yes, so we are by appointment only right now. Okay, and again, great. And John, feel free to chime in, but they can still call their local office. We have staff there every day. We are available 24/7. You know, our hours of operation are 8 to 5. When I say 24/7, we always get back to them. You know what I mean? So even if they email or call us late, leave a message, whatever, we will return those inquiries. But yeah, we are in the office. We are by appointment only until we receive, you know, instruction otherwise. But for PAC specifically, our coordinators are back in the field, as many of our community partners have started to open back up. You know, Department of Labor, Goodwill, everybody's kind of starting to start moving again. Our courts have opened up. Majority of our parental accountability courts are back in person session. We still have a few that are virtual doing Zoom, but it's been successful for us. We've continued to move forward, and we're happy to serve whoever is in need of our help.
And I would like to echo that our fatherhood agents are conducting the virtual orientations and virtual communications through the computer, through phone, through internet, etc. So everything that Miss Wende said is absolutely true. Our programs go into the virtual world. So as she said, 24/7, pretty much you can connect with us. Even though you might not be able to walk into an office at your convenience, you can always email or call someone on the telephone at your convenience, and we will put you in the virtual world and we can help you.
Wonderful. I think great ways to access to, and I think Wende mentioned the mobile apps too. Those are so important, especially when you don't have good broadband access. Usually you've got a cell phone that you can use those things, which is wonderful. We got another question too from Catherine about, looking at some of the metrics that y'all showed. If you have been tracking those success rates by race to kind of see if that's, kind of what that looks like in terms of outcomes. And I was curious if y'all had that data available or were able to share it.
No, ma'am, I do not think that we have that data at the present time. I would have to refer that to my manager.
Okay, sounds great.
I will tell you that is something that is on our radar. Every time I sit on a meeting like this, John, you and I were on that podcast a couple of months ago. I even took notes while John was talking. That's something that I need to check on because I know we have it, but I don't think we've formally done anything with it yet. So you guys have kind of reminded me I need to put that back on my list because that'll be really great demographic information for us for sure. We recently, and I apologize, I do not have the numbers in front of me, but roughly I did do a demographic analysis of our male versus female. I was really curious about that piece too. And surprisingly, we really were low on our females that are in the program. But yeah, we will definitely look at that. And if we do get an approved distribution of that, I'll make sure, Joy, that y'all's team gets that and that we're able to share it. But that's a wonderful suggestion.
Yeah, completely agree. I think it's just good to understand better, and I think too, like a rural urban breakdown would be really helpful to see, transportation, I think to your point, Wende, you mentioned even Macon, being different than Atlanta. And so I think kind of figuring out what roles can better determine kind of how to target strategic solutions when resources are always thin. So I think those are great options. We got another specific question, Wende, about the Parental Accountability Court, and I'll just read it specifically. Is the PAC able to assist participants navigate the process of signing up for the court and addressing the warrant for those who have not been successful in receiving assistance from their local child support office, even if the warrant is child support related?
Yes. Yeah, we
okay.
And, and that's where our special assistant attorney generals, our SAG, the attorneys that support our local offices, and some of our officers are county administrators. So we have assistant district attorneys that govern with us. But yeah, we've got plenty of resources to help them navigate that system. That's what we're here for. That warrant is a barrier in their life. And so we're going to figure out what the solutions are, and our attorneys do help us with advisement on that. Sometimes we may very well have to refer them out to another community resource for it, but we definitely help navigate that with them, of course.
Okay, wonderful. And two, I know I saw, Wende, you posted some links there too and phone numbers, which are super helpful. I know y'all both talked about, the educational resources and job training that y'all offer and help connect folks with. Is there one in specific, or maybe a couple, that y'all find are most helpful in terms of getting folks back on their feet and, into, strong career paths that are able to help support their families?
John, I'll punt that to you. You guys are the pros there.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. I think that CDL training is a big component of our program. Lots of folks want to be somewhat self-employed, and that isn't necessarily self-employment, but it is self-employment. So we've got good results there. and the technical colleges throughout the state of Georgia has helped us. And then we've got several folks who like to go into the welding construction area. The best thing that I can say about our training is this. Our participants have avenues to training anywhere throughout the state of Georgia, and all we want them to do is connect, because there's so many opportunities that would help them financially so that they could be successful there, and then we would help them in other areas for success as well.
That's fantastic too. And I think, John, what you mentioned about that skills assessment is so helpful, because I know that we see that across the state, that individuals don't always know what are the good high paying jobs in their community. And the fact that y'all look at what their skills are and maybe interests are and help pair them with high paying jobs is such a successful strategy. And so I'm so grateful that y'all are employing that. I know y'all both talked too just about the impacts to children. And I know that we've had different presenters on from, talking about 2-generation strategies. So focusing on well-being of the kids and development of parents, and, how that's something that a lot of folks are trying. And I know both of y'all kind of mentioned it, but I was wondering if you could go a little deeper into kind of the benefits that you see for children seeing their parents have success, either through the Parental Accountability Court or through the Fatherhood program.
I am a strong component of parents being involved in children's lives. And the reason that I say that is because at the age of 6 years old, I was put in foster care. I am a product of the state of Georgia. So that's one of the reasons that I love Fatherhood and PAC, is because we are reconnecting families. Whenever I was just a fatherhood agent, and I don't mean just a fatherhood agent, that is one of the most important jobs in the whole state of Georgia. But when I was performing those duties, I had an older gentleman say to me at one of our meetings, "Thank you." And I said, "For what?" He said, "Because last night, for the first time in my life, my daughter and I sat down at the dining room table and performed our homework together." That gentleman would ride his bicycle to work. And because of the Georgia Fatherhood program and the efforts of us, he was joined with his family, and he was joined with a career that changed his life. And that's the reason that I do what I do. At night, when I lay my head on my pillow, I can always say, I've given a person an opportunity to make a difference in their lives. Children are important, but so are the parents. And that's the reason our commissioner believes children need both parents.
Thanks, John. I echo all of that. 2 parents involved in the child's life, whatever the capacity is critical. And one of our outreach departments, our Access and Visitation Department, has worked greatly over the past year to develop more opportunities for families to have visits where both parents can be involved. And so we work with third-party vendors to provide those visitation services. The Division of Child Support Services can connect families with those outside resources, and we do that. We've also seen that we have another outreach department that will also address this question with the children, is our prison reentry program. We work inside our Georgia Department of Correction transitional centers. The Department of Human Services contracts with vendors that go into our transitional centers and provide parenting classes, anger management classes, and they also do one-on-one and group support groups. And these 2 vendors have been phenomenal. But what has happened in the transitional centers is we only service those that have an active child support case, okay? So we work with their counselors to find these individuals. And through that program, those customers are able to connect or reconnect with their children through a visitation where the custodial parent will bring the children to the transitional center while their, father or mother, whichever center they're at, is incarcerated. So that's probably been another high point of what we've seen, is just the visitation and the ability to again, wrap around services of a family who's been disconnected. And again, like John said, through those meetings, those non-custodial parents in the transitional center sit down, have a picnic, have a meal, have, you know, read a book, whatever they can do. And then some of those visitation meetings under a normal circumstance, not in the transitional center, some of those visitation meetings have occurred even in the child support office because we had space. The vendor would get the families to meet there. So we've had a part in visitation and bringing families together for many years now. But over the past 2 years, we embarked on an expansion of that access and visitation program. So again, really proud of that. We've still got work to do on the wraparound piece, but with y'all's help and our civic organizations, we're on the right path to keep that going.
Thanks so much, Wendy and John. I think that was so helpful, and just to think about, you know, the full scope. I know we got a question from Candy in the chat too, if there's a list of all of the parental accountability coordinators per region in Georgia. And Wendy, I was curious if there's some on the website or kind of where folks could find that information.
John, I don't think we have our staff listed online, but I mean, of course I have a list. I don't even know. I know our fact sheet is on there. They can get their parental accountability coordinator from any of their local child support office. And then let me look into that. I need to see, but I know if they call our customer call center that they'll get them to any fatherhood agent or PAC, you know, coordinator that we have. That's kind of our main avenue for communication. But I definitely have a list. If anybody on here wants it, we can definitely share that with you. We want to make sure people know who to contact in their local areas. We don't want to keep that from them. So yeah.
Wonderful. Okay, so Candy, either connect with Wendy or use that hotline. I know we are right about time. So Amelia, I want to turn it over to you for closing thoughts and of course to thank our sponsors.
Great. Thank you all so much. We're going to try and get my screen going here again. Well, thank you, John. Thank you, Wendy. That was some really, really great information for a lot of our MACS providers, especially here in Metro Atlanta. I know that that's a really big need that we see at First Step, and I know a lot of our partners do as well. Great job moderating and getting the questions in, Daniela, so thanks for helping us do that as well. All right. We just have a couple of announcements of things that are coming up in MACS. So make sure you're telling others about MACS, how to join our MACS group. We have a lot of other good content that we're planning to put out this year. So please make sure you're letting other folks know about MACS and make sure they know how to join. And everyone here, I think, knows how to get in touch with Joy if you have any questions on that. We do have a couple of other events coming up that are on the schedule. Our next MACS Minutes is on the IT industry. So we'll have some folks from Georgia Power and a couple of other guests joining us on that. So we'll be having that on Friday, June 4th, again at 9 o'clock. And then we are doing another MACS Academy workshop. It'll be held on June 16th from 1 to 2:30. So be looking out for your emails. We'll be sending out information about those two events over the next couple of weeks. And then we'll have some other announcements coming along throughout the summer and into the fall. So thank you again for joining us today. We look forward to seeing everybody again next time, and have a great weekend.